have a prophecy for you. Oh wait, I should probably introduce myself. I am Sir Prophet of the Obvious. Yes. The prophecy is that we are about to listen to me write my book. Hope that's okay with you. Okay, the name is The Normies Guide
to the Theory of Nothing by Tim Snavely.
Sir Prophet of the Obvious.
And null. On the cover it says The Null Hypothesis. A funny yet thought-provoking book. Nothing might finally be taken seriously. Nil. Zilch divided by nada, and nobody times egos. Nobody shall come before me.
And what is this zilch and nada and the nobody and egos equal to? Omega everything! Yes, it is! For the prophet tells me so.
The table of contents. As you can see, I divided it into 5 different sections, and it is very, very atypical setup for a table of contents. I made it so that it looks diagonal, as you can see right there. On the first page, and then on the second page, I did some asymptotic design, which is pretty cool. And on the third page, I put a secret message in there.
Oh yes, I love these tables of contents. So ziggy-zaggy, whooshy-mooshy. So cryptic.
The intro. Hey normies, this is a book. In this book, there are words. Those words hold ideas. Some of these ideas will be useful for your everyday life. Some ideas will be useful for helping you discover your own answer to life's existential questions more clearly. Some other ideas will be useful in creating better ideas for yourself. And other thoughts will be introducing rational proofs of the multiverse that we can infer from our universe, as well as describe the precise makeup of the dimensions that make up absolutely everything on a fundamental level. Yup, I went there. This book is based on my metaphysical theory of everything, which I have named dimensionalism. The name choice is derived from the philosophical camps that were arguing if time should be counted as a fourth physical dimension or not. Their names were three-dimensionalism and four-dimensionalism, respectively. I unwittingly decided to make my own camp that not only adds time as a type of physical dimension, but incorporates 2 other types of physical dimensions and 2 types of non-physical dimensions that are required to explain everything. This book will make regular use of 3 different kinds of fonts, so that you as the reader can know when I, Tim, am being serious, satirical, or mythical. Whenever I use this font, called Oswald, I will do my best to be serious. You can take what I say in this font at face value. A lot of what this book has to say covers a deep nihilistic look at philosophical concepts that have been asked by man since before they had the chance to write it down. In essence, I believe that there are ways to use nothing to explain everything. Granted, I know that not everything will be explained, but in Oswald's text, I try to show the thoroughly precise thought processes that can help you get closer to knowing everything. Oswald is Tim Snavely being a philosopher. A serious, nihilistic philosopher.
When I use this font, Comic Sans, I will be sarcastic, satirical, and sometimes oversimplified. I will do my best to sound like the quack of all quacks, a grade A charlatan. I will pretend to be, a serious quote leader who has all of the answers to all of life's questions. Dimensionalism, from the perspective of Comic Sans, is the one-world religion of the New World Order, led by the false prophet. Comic Sans makes Tim fulfill laughable roles in fiction and non-fiction settings under aliases such as Sir Prophet of the Obvious.
Not a Dr. Snavely.
Because I hold a doctorate in nothing. Sensei Snavely, which is obviously inspired by the tie around my head instead of the around my neck. And the snake oil salesman who sells nothing for a profit. Yeah, I figure since I'm already Sir Prophet of the Obvious, why not be Sir Prophet of the Obvious too? Yes, I should be. Normies generally like certainty and objectivity. In this font, I will attempt to give them what they want.
I, on the other hand, am comfortable in my uncertainty and could see how subjectivity is sometimes capable of superseding objectivity with regards to truth claims. Although Comic Sans in this book will hold many bold and pompous claims of certainty, I'm going to also try to smack that certainty of just about everything right out of you. It may sound very self-defeating, but Nada approve of this methodology. You can trust nobody to be certain of anything.
Lastly, whenever I use this font called Courier New, I will be writing stories that coincide with the concepts being taught. Short stories, mythologies, parables, poems, and general fiction will be written in this font. These are for pure fun and for simple introspections of more difficult topics that will often be explained with the other two fonts elsewhere in the book, and should not be taken literally. I am an ex-Christian nihilist. Zilch, Nada, and the other gods of nothingness, and somethingness, introduced in this book are works of fiction, which is why a good portion of their usage in this book are written in Courier New. But I also mathematically introduce how these gods are also real when expressed in this form 0 equals 0i. You can view them as imaginary, 0i, or you can view them as real, just 0. This whole book, together with all three of these fonts, should make it perfectly clear how you can explain everything when you presuppose nothing. Not super British, but it's distinct from what I normally talk. I like it.
Dimensionalism can also be said to be an anti-cult culture where you can go your own way and learn how to make the most out of life for yourself so that no guide will exploit you to go their way instead, henceforth.
As you could have guessed from the title of this book, I have nothing to teach and everything to learn. This is a comprehensive theory of nothing, after all. I know nothing, and by the time you have finished this book, you will know less than when you started. You will surely pick up some important stuff along the way, but you will ultimately be wiser once you learn to stop saying that you know things when you really don't.
As the head dimensionalist, I will tell you how to give your life meaning and give you simple answers to everything and nothing, so that everyone from the village idiot to your local geniuses will be able to understand. Do you want to know the one true origin of the multiverse? How would you like to discover a new non-existent personal relationship with our Lord and Lordess, Nada? If you don't, that is totally fine, because you will have unknowingly followed the only genuine commandment given in this book, which will be given many times.
You can go your own way.
You must go your own way. I order it. You! Do as I say and do whatever you say.
Lastly, I should make it known that whenever I say the term anti-cult cult to describe dimensionalism, I think of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster if the Pastafarians were genuinely attempting to explain reality rather than be a satirical legal response to the idea of intelligent design. May his noodly appendages be al dente towards me in response to claiming his existence as satire. Ramen. I view dimensionalism as Pastafarianism 2.0, and I hope you can enjoy it as such too. You by no means have to take my interpretation of nothing seriously in order to enjoy this holy text. But you can if you wish. I take nothing seriously, and I take nothing very seriously. And I encourage you to do the same. I hope you have as much fun reading or listening this dissertation of the null hypothesis as I enjoyed writing it.
Blah, blah, blah. Unimportant thanks and platitudes to the not as great thinkers that came before me and to the readers and editors. Boring! Unto the origin of the multiverse.